Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a brand new guilty pleasure review, and that's going to be for Alien vs Predator. Now, Alien vs Predator is the mashup between the iconic Predator franchise and the Alien franchise, or the Yacha franchise and the Xenomorph franchise. If you're going to get into the whole what these creatures are called in their respective universes. So, what happens in Alien vs Predator? Well, basically, a giant Predator ship launches a laser beam into the ice in Antarctica. This kind of digs a hole into the ground, revealing a pyramid that is detected by Lance Henriksen, as well as Sanaa Lathan, who is dragged into this, and she's basically, the team lead of this expedition that's going there in order to observe and kind of figure out what this gigantic pyramid is and its relationship to the other pyramids that are out there. This quickly turns deadly when one of the group members activates the Predator ship to send more predators to planet Earth, and then things go crazy from there. So I actually like this movie. I know people have problems with it because it kind of deviates from the Predator lore, but it's not supposed to be a Predator or Alien movie, and it's based off the comic books. So I know there's going to be things that are going to be changed a little bit, but always in the AVP comic books, the Predators have been kind of hunting them as a manhood ritual, which basically means that they come down every so often and hunt the aliens as sort of a blood sport, and then whoever wins kind of is crowned sort of like the king of the hunt and everything, and that's kind of their deal. But this movie has some pretty cool moments. There's a fight scene where you kind of see the camera pan around one of the main characters. He pulls out a gun, and he's kind of aiming it downrange to try and shoot one of the predators, and then up top on one of these water towers, you see the predator just kind of like observing the situation. He deactivates his cloak and lets out one of the classic Predator roars and then jumps, and that starts a fight. There's also a fight that takes place within one of the campgrounds. They're going through one of the buildings and stuff, and then, the Predators attack them. And there's a really cool Alien vs. Predator kind of prequel scene in part of the movie where they're kind of detailing the events of what happened to one of the pyramids of Egypt, and that apparently this whole entire thing has been going on for decades, even before humans kind of had like high technology and everything. Basically, this has been going on for centuries, and pyramids were used as sort of a blood sport arena for these predators. I thought that was pretty sweet. You see some cool looking predators with different predator nests and weapons and stuff, and they updated a lot of the weapons in this movie. They updated the shuriken device, which is this thing that the Predator kind of shoots out some like spiked edges, and it kind of flings it around, kind of like a boomerang, and it can come back and release it again, and it's kind of like automatic, basically. The Predator has a new plasma caster as well as a new spear, and the aliens have a new design that kind of resembles that of the first two Alien films. So basically what happens is these group of expedition experts get kind of trapped in this pyramid with aliens and the Predators, and Sanaa Lathan is the last one to survive, basically, after everybody's being killed off by the Predators and the aliens, and she kind of has to take charge and finally escape, which I will not reveal at the end of this movie what happens, just because I feel like this is a movie that people should give another chance. I know it's not rated R. I know there's not a lot of blood like the other movies are, but this movie is way better than Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which is a movie that I definitely want to review at some point because it's so god-awful and a lot worse than this movie, even though that movie's rated R. Just because you put rated R in the thing doesn't mean that it's going to be a good movie. You gotta have sort of a reason for it to be there and not just be sort of something you get slapped on the box and be like, this movie's rated R, it's going to be good. It's not. The story and the dialogue kind of what matters. And Paul Wes Anderson is the one that directed this movie, and he even wrote the screenplay for this a long time ago, and he's a huge Alien and Predator fan, and he finally got to make the movie that he kind of wanted to make for years. And I think doing that for this type of film is awesome because you get someone that cares about the property, that wants it to do well. He's also done like properties like that before, and I think he directed the Mortal Kombat movie, which everybody likes, so this movie is a really good mashup between those characters, and there's cool fight scenes where, you see the Predator kind of intertangling with the alien and stuff, and it seems like the alien in this movie is a little bit overpowered. I think that with all the technology that the Predator has, you would think that he would be the one that kind of survives the fights and stuff just because he has higher grade of technology than the alien. The alien only has, the acid blood and a tail to kind of jab into one of the Predators, which you see in the trailer for the film, and kind of brings the Predator up towards it and just kind of uses its secondary mouth to kind of shoot into the Predator head, and that's pretty sweet. So, you get kind of moments like that where you see both the Predator and the alien kind of have their back and forth battles. The Predator wins one fight and the alien seems to win more than one. But there's this really cool scene where the Predator is trying to, mark his helmet and stuff after he's killed a whole bunch of aliens. And then you see a facehugger kind of crawling on the wall, and then it jumps at it, and you see the Predator kind of throw the shuriken device, and before that you see an alien crawled down, and then he just kind of goes whoosh, and then he kills the alien by cutting off its head and stuff. That's kind of cool. There's some really cool moments. There's one moment that kind of reminds me a little bit of The Day After Tomorrow, where you see Sanaa Lathan jumping across like a chasm and stuff, and she just barely, grabs hold of the ledge of the other chasm. And then the guy that made it before, the other researcher dude, he kind of gets impaled by an alien, I think through the back, and it kind of just drags him away from her, and then he's pretty much dead after that. But yeah, this movie is true in a way to the characters in that, people get picked off one by one, but it's also, it deviates course and changes some things. But, if you're a big fan of the franchises, you'll kind of ignore them and just kind of accept it as a fun, cheesy, action movie flick. But the extended edition is way better than the theatrical cut, and I'd actually recommend you watch the extended edition as opposed to the theatrical cut, because that is the one that is kind of a little bit better, and there's actual blood. It's CG blood, but, what are you going to do? But yeah, that's my thoughts on Alien vs. Predator. I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of guilty pleasure series that I've been adding. I've been doing a little bit more effects and stuff with it just to kind of make it a little bit of a better experience for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.